Hello and welcome to the Tatty Teddy Bear Cake Tutorial. So I've got my cake drum here with a plastic dowel in the centre and drilled a little hole and put the plastic dowel in the hole. I'm going to buttercream my board a little so my cake sticks to the board a little bit better and it makes it food safe round about where I made the hole. I'm using 6-inch cakes and this teddy bear. I'm just going to cut the uneven part off the top of the cake. Now I'm not cutting these cakes in half because this is just made for the tutorial, but you could cut your little cakes in half and do some nice layers. This cake's not very wide anyway, they're quite small cakes. So I'm going to put my tool through the centre of the small cake and pop it over the top of the dowel. And we're going to stack the cakes with my buttercream. I've got grey buttercream today because the cake's going to be grey as well. And just stack them right up till I need to put a little board on for support. Next we're going to add on some dowels so we can stabilise our cake. So once you've got them cut to the size you require, and they just go below the level of your top cake. And then I'm going to pop them in either side of the centre dowel. So now we're going to add on our small board with a hole in the middle, and I've got it wrapped in tin foil. So we just keep adding on our cakes that we have left. Take the top off. I should have really used a big knife here, but I just kept working away with the little one. Add on your buttercream onto your board. So we're going to add more buttercream on. It's went out of shot, but all I'm doing is adding on my last cake. So what I'm going to do next is just cut off the side pieces of the top cakes, the ones on top of the board. And just gives the teddy bear head a little bit more shape. It's freezing in my kitchen, so I've got on my onesie to keep me warm. Our next job is to cover the whole cake in a layer of buttercream. I've wanted to do this. I've never actually put on buttercream directly onto the cake, piped into the little peaks. So I'm not sure if it would have worked so well. Do we need the layer of buttercream underneath? Well, this is the way I'm doing it anyway. A thin layer of buttercream all the way around the cake, and then we're going to be able to pipe onto that layer. Now, to give the teddy bear a little bit more shape, I'm going to put one of the cut-offs that I like to use all the cake. It's a nice soft cake anyway, so it's not hard. But I'm going to put that on the front, and that's going to give him or her a little tummy. And then cover it all with our buttercream. I wouldn't bother cutting into it or anything, guys. I like it all bumpy. It gives it a better shape because it is a teddy bear. It doesn't have to be smooth. Okay, so once we've got it all covered, we're going to add on some arms. So again, I'm just using the cut-offs that I took off earlier, not to waste any of the cake. I'm going to add on little arms at each side, like wrapping around his tummy. And of course we've got to buttercream that as well. So we need to give this little fellow some feet. Now I ran out of the cake, the vanilla cake, so I'm going to use some of chocolate cake I have here. And I'm going to add on some feet. Legs, really short legs and feet. So cut off a wedge at the corner that you're going to place beside the cake. And then we're going to cover that in buttercream. This is the feet part I decided to make as well before I buttercreamed it. It is basically leftover pieces of cake with buttercream, and you squash it all together. I use this to make the feet. Now I could have opted for making some fondant feet, which probably would have been a bit easier. But I just like to use up all the cake that I have. And as I said, this one was just used for the tutorial, so it wouldn't really matter what I used, to be honest. And so there we go. We've got our little legs and our little feet, and then we've got to get it covered in our buttercream. So the next part we're going to do is fill a bag, a piping bag, and I've got like a star nozzle on it. And we're just going to start piping on all over the body and head all over the cake with little peaks. And try and make some peaks longer and some peaks shorter. And you'll get a sore arm probably, or a sore hand like I did. Now I didn't film the whole of covering the cake with this because I think it would have been a bit monotonous for you, but we do cover the whole cake and keep filling up your piping bag. You can see my piping bag there to the left, until we get the whole cake covered in our little star sort of shapes with peaks. I made this one grey because in the birthday cards and everything we buy here in the UK, there is a selection of cards that are called Tatty teddy bears who get up to different poses and mischief on the cards, and they're usually grey. So you press down with your buttercream and pull it back towards you and get different levels of like to make the fur. This is making the fur. I'm just showing you in different places. Now we've still to add on the mouth and the nose and eyes and 2 ears. And for the tail, I just added on a layer of the buttercream to make a little bob tail at the back. For a while my hand did get sore, but I got used to it. So push it in and then pull back, in, pull back, in, pull back, in, pull back. Okay, so I've got a good bit of it covered up to now. I've left a little space for the mouth to go. You can put the mouth on first and then start covering all round about it. And off we go again. Why I've left the mouth, because I thought I'd do some piping, come back, put the mouth on, come back, put the ears on. It's just to give my arms and my hand a rest, because it's quite a lot of work doing all this piping. It's something I don't do a lot of, is piping. So we keep going with our piping. If you get fed up of watching me piping, that's why I didn't film all of it. Just fast forward. And we need to put some fondant at the front of those feet as well. Now I'm just marking the centre of the teddy, and I'm giving him or her, a centre right up into the body, and I end up putting it right through the head as well. Then I mark round where the arms are, so it just doesn't look just one big blob. And there's a line up through the head. Now, depending where you put the mouth with the nose, makes it look, whether it's looking down head, or if I'd put the mouth up a bit higher, it would have been looking straight forward, or even higher again, probably made it look as though it was looking back. I wanted it looking basically at its flower. I'm just adding on little details here, although it's like stitch marks in the photos of the teddy bear that's in the pictures. Okay, to give my hands and arms a rest, I decided to go ahead and make the mouth or the ears. I think this is going to be the ears by the looks of it. So for the ears, you make a round ball. You roughly have the two same size pieces there. And then you're going to flatten the ball out a little bit in your hands. I've got one side of the shaped ear flat, and then so it looks like a little half circle. Now you can flatten out more if you want around the sides, but it's all going to be piped anyway with our buttercream, so it's going to look thicker ears anyway. So I'm just bending them round slightly and then popping them onto the head. Now they stick well because the buttercream's not dried in and it's still quite wet, so I didn't have to add anything else on. The ears definitely do finish my teddy off better. And you can see they're quite thick there, but teddy bear's ears aren't thin, I don't think. So we're going to add on, I think, the mouth part now. I'm just using a local shop bought fondant for this. So once you've worked your fondant and got it ready for cutting, I do cut it with an oval shape. In this fondant I added a little bit of black to make it go a little bit grayer, but not too grey to match his body. So I've used the cutter here once my fondant was ready and shaped it round. If you think it's too big, you can just cut round the sides a little bit. I thought, oh, that's too big. Don't want to cover the face. So I took my pizza cutter and just cut a rim round it and took that off. And then when you're quite happy with it, you can stick it on. As I said, you can easily add this on before you start piping. But I knew I was going to get sore hands. Dexterity, the arthritis. So doing it just now gave me a break of the heavy piping. So I did try adding some of this lovely colour of blue into the nose, because they've got blue noses, Tatty Teddies. It didn't really cover that well. I ended up painting it, but it's a lovely blue. And it just sort of disappeared into the fondant. So once you've got your fondant ready, make a sort of sausage shape, semi sort of circle. Pinch it at each side and then pop it on your teddy bear's mouth. So I think it's still a little bit too big. Take some off and get it the shape you want. A little bit of edible glue this time because it's fondant going on to fondant. And then add it on, which is out of shot, but I was trying more to show you the making of the shape on the table. You'll see what it looks like in a bit. And then we've got just 2 eyes to go on the face, and then the pads of his feet. So this is me just going to paint over the nose because the colour didn't come out very well. And I tried to mix it. So give it a coat of paint. So the next part we're going to do is the pads on the feet. And I'm just going to use a simple round cutter. Now, if you haven't got these cutters around, have a look for anything like jam or Nutella lids and things like that, and you can use them to cut round. A scone cutter is good as well, but don't use the gravel side. You use the plain side of it. You pop pads onto the feet. And if you wanted at this point as well, before you put them on, you could actually, if you've got any lettering, but it would have to be in the cupcake size lettering, small lettering, you could actually write on it Happy Mother's Day or Love You or anything like the person's name. Or you could actually put a love heart on the feet. So once you've got your feet on, you can mark little squares around the sides to give it a little bit of detail, not doing anything hard, quite easy for you. And then I do paint them with some black paint, and then I wipe it off slightly to make it more gravelly and grey. You can paint the markings that we're doing just now with some heavier looking paint if you want as well. It's your cake, you can do anything you want. So we're just going to add on the little black eyes, and I'm still showing you, because you will see the finished article in front of you. So I want to keep showing you how I'm making the actual shapes and everything I'm putting on the cake. I haven't got a double camera, not yet anyway. So all the eyes are 2 balls of black fondant, and flatten them down into circles, or you can cut them into circles if you've got shapers, and then just pop them on above the mouth area. This one goes. And there is our little bear with our 2 eyes, with our nose and our mouth. So now we've just got to keep putting on all the buttercream and cover the rest of the ears and the back and the sides and the legs. I've got 1 ear covered there now. And all you do is keep covering them until it's all covered. And that's you finished. You can decorate your board with some other fondant. And then I made, which I haven't put it in this tutorial, but I made a little yellow daffodil, but you could have them holding a heart or a name tag sort of thing. Anything you want, or not hold anything at all. Totally up to yourself. But that's a nice, easy little sculpt for you to enjoy, not with a hard inside structure. And you can see what I mean now that I've sort of got his head sort of tilted to one side, just with using detailing to make him look, although he's looking down at whatever he's holding. And I've got the whole of that back piece to cover now. Have fun with it, guys, and I would love to see some of the teddy bears if you make some. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.